Hello everyone, my name is Jazz and today I'm going to be doing a video on how you can get started as a social media marketing manager with no experience. So if you don't know me already, my name is Jazz. Obviously I just said that. I've been a social media marketing manager for I keep on saying over 10 years now, but I feel like it's been like maybe 12, 13. I have no idea. I got started before Instagram stories were even a thing. I got started before TikTok was even a thing. I got started before the job of a social media marketing manager was even a real job. Like now we've got businesses that are hiring like literally 18-year-olds to run their TikTok accounts for them. But in my time as a social media marketing manager, I've worked with global food chains. I've coached businesses from TV shows like Dragon's Den. I've worked with, I think the UK's biggest festival, if not one of. I've worked with the Glastonbury Festival. I've also got a degree in digital marketing and a Chartered Institute of Marketing diploma in digital marketing and an advanced social media strategy certification with Hootsuite, which means I can firsthand tell you that qualifications, degrees, all this kind of bullshit is pretty much pointless. I didn't learn a single thing about real world client experience, but actually landing clients and working with clients in my degree. Pretty much most of my stuff from actually getting started and just getting stuck in and working with clients. So basically I'm going to cover today. I know people say work on Trello, work on Notion, work on this kind of stuff. I literally just prefer writing things down. I've done this my whole life. I've written things down either on my notes on my phone or just literally in a fucking notebook. I don't know if it's ADHD, but I have to be able to see things very clearly. So I write everything down here. Anyway, basically, so we're going to be covering mindset, which is super important. I know a lot of people cover like, how you can manifest your way to, landing clients. And it's like, I'm sure it does help, but you need to actually know the knowledge to be able to get there. So mindset, how to land clients, and then of course, how to get results for those clients. There's no point in landing thousands of pounds worth of clients a month if you can't get results for them because your client retention is going to be really high. And then pricing, so how to price yourself reasonably, ethically, and still make good money yourself. It's very easy for me to sit here and say, yeah, just land high ticket clients. But if you're just getting started with no experience, that's going to be very difficult for a magnitude of reasons. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, mindset. Now, like I said, I know a ton of people, especially people on TikTok, they'll literally be like, yeah, all you need to do to, run a successful business and land clients is, tell yourself you deserve it. And they say you need to tell yourself you've already got all these goals and you deserve all these things. And I 1,000% believe it definitely does work. I think 1,000,000% sitting down and telling yourself you deserve these things, you're worthy of these things, you've got, what it takes in you to have this success, 1,000% will help you on your journey. And I think I've always said that if someone who has no self-confidence but a ton of knowledge will get nowhere, than the person who's got no knowledge but a ton of self-confidence will get much further, just because if you can't pitch yourself, if you can't sell yourself, you're not going to land any clients. However, you do still obviously need to know the actual stuff, to land clients, to get them results, to get started. That alongside manifesting, that alongside believing yourself, that alongside investing time into, your self-confidence and your self-worth, 1,000% will get you a million miles further. But obviously you have to know the actual knowledge. But that being said, mindset and your confidence comes underneath absolutely everything else. It doesn't matter what it is you're doing, whether it's sending emails, making posts, creating content for your clients, whatever it is. If you haven't got the confidence, everything you do is going to be so shaky. Because social media marketing is such a tangible thing. It's such a thing, we literally all go on social media every day. Not all of us, but a lot of people go on social media every day. We constantly see content from brands. We're so it's such a normal part of our daily lives that to become a social media marketing manager, obviously it just seems like such an in-reach thing. It just seems like such a normal, of course I can do this. I can spend all my time on social media. But while I was saying that, it's also very easy to be like, okay, well, how the fuck do I get started? I've got this social media marketing experience. I create TikToks for myself or for my friends. I'm creating Instagram stories that are always really good, brands are reposting them, whatever. But how the fuck do you take it from that to actually getting paid for it? And a lot of people are, of course, like, how the hell am I going to land clients? I've got no experience, I've got no degrees, I've got no qualifications, I haven't got a portfolio. How are clients going to trust me if I've got no experience? But I cannot explain. Honestly, I wish so many people I speak to in every day in my DMs, I wish I could come up to you, grab your head and just put it into your brain and be like, that no one starts with experience. Even the best social media marketing managers in the world were not born with social media marketing experience. It's not an innate thing. You're not born being a good social media marketing manager. It doesn't work like that. No one starts with experience. And you might go, but people have got marketing degrees or business degrees or they've got qualifications in social media marketing, whatever it is, or they've done whatever. None of that gives you real world experience. And I can tell you that because I've been a social media marketing manager before and after my degree. And I have a degree in digital marketing. It teaches you nothing about how to land clients, real world experience, how to get them results. It teaches you the foundations and the theories and, not Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the Boston consulting matrix and all this shit that you can learn off Google anyway. It doesn't teach you anything about actually real world client experience. There are people on my degree course that I would not, no offense if anyone's watching this, but there are a lot of people on my degree course that I would never hire. Out of all of my entire team that work for me, I don't think any of them have marketing degrees. I much prefer working on people that are switched on, people that are motivated, people that are driven. You can teach a skill set, but you can't teach someone how to be motivated and switched on. So as long as you've got motivation and drive and you are willing to learn things, you've got more than someone with a degree, trust me, because a lot of the time, people that with marketing degrees or with any degrees just think, okay, I've got this degree. I'm an expert. It doesn't work like that. If you're sat there like, oh, I can't get started, I've got no experience, I promise you, just get stuck in. Start building a TikTok account for yourself. If your friend's got a business, offer to run their Instagram account, their LinkedIn account, their TikTok account, their Pinterest account, whatever it is. Offer to do a little bit of work for them in the meantime. If you're really, really nervous and you haven't got the confidence to get started and you're too scared to pitch to clients with no experience, then you can work with, you can work with your friends for free. You can work with your friends for cheap. You can, anyone in your personal network that's got a business, you can offer to work with them just to build your experience. I would never, ever, ever recommend working with businesses for free or for cheap unless you are like paralyzed by the fear of getting started and you're like, I physically cannot do this unless, I build a little bit of confidence first. Fine, I get it. In that scenario, it's better to, work with a business for a month for cheap or for free or for 1 month, 2 months, whatever, just to get the experience, just so you can prove to yourself that you can do it, and then going on and pitching to, real world, like high paying clients. If you don't feel like you need to do that, if you're a little bit scared, but you're like, do you know what, I can get stuck in, I can learn as I go, then you don't need to do that at all. I would never recommend anyone doing work for cheap or for free, because you can land clients without experience. Trust me, because I've done it myself. Of course, you actually need to know how to get started and how to land clients and how to get results for them. I'm going to cover that later on in the video, but for now, just on mindset. But no one starts with experience. Most people suffer with imposter syndrome. I actually fear people that don't have imposter syndrome a little bit, because how could you go into a business with absolutely no experience and just be like, fuck yeah, I can do this, I can get results, nothing's going to go wrong. I think people like that are a little bit mental. So if you have imposter syndrome, it's normal. Do not expect to go into starting a new, career, starting a new role, starting a new job, starting a new business, and just expect to be like, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be like that. You're going to be scared. Things are going to go wrong in the process. Like, things are going to go wrong. Things are going to go tits up. You are going to make mistakes. It's social media marketing. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. No one's going to die in the process. No one's on this planet has ever started a business and not made a single mistake. It's how you learn. It's how, it's how you move on. It's how you build on your business. Sometimes you take one step forward. No, sometimes you take one step back and 2 steps forward. It happens. You can't expect to not make mistakes. But the main thing is, accept that you are going to be scared. Accept that it is going to be scary. Accept that you're going to have fear. And just take baby steps towards it anyway. Do it anyway. I know people say, oh, feel the fear and do it anyway. And it's kind of like oh yeah, whatever. But it's true. Like, you are going to be scared. Like, things are going to go wrong, but it's fine. You just have to work towards it. Because otherwise you're just going to be sat there accepting that it's going to be scary and be like, yeah, actually, do you know what? It's going to be scary. I'm not going to do it. Or you can be like, okay, it's going to be scary, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway. Do you know what I mean? And my second point on mindset, before I go into the nitty gritty of how to land clients and get results for them, is how you talk to yourself is so fucking important. I didn't realize this until recently, and I'm like I like science-backed stuff, If my hair's falling out, I want chemicals that are going to fix it. I want Olaplex. I want shit that I can get from Boots. I don't want someone to tell me to rub rosemary oil on my scalp, do you know what I mean? But I didn't really believe it until my therapist told me. She said to me, your brain cannot... I have anxiety and ADHD, that's why I go to therapy. Anyway, so she said to me, your brain cannot tell the difference between you saying something to yourself and someone else saying something to yourself. So if I sit here and I make a mistake and I go, fuck, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, why did I do that? My brain cannot tell the difference between someone coming into my house and going, you're so fucking stupid, why did you do that? And if you saw someone saying that to me, you'd be like, oh my God, that's horrible, why would you say that? But your brain cannot tell the difference between you saying it to yourself and someone else saying it to you. So if you sit there and you go, I can't do it, I'm not worthy of success, I haven't got the experience, why would they work with me when they could work with someone else? Why would they, I haven't got any experience, I'm not going to be very good at it, I might make mistakes, nothing succeeded for me in the past. That is the exact same as someone else sitting there and saying that to you. And that's horrible. Like, anyone saying that to you, that's horrible. If your mum, your dad said that to you, or your friend, or any random person said that to you, I'd be like, that's fucking awful. But saying it to yourself, you should have the same mindset of that's horrible, why would I say that to myself? So do not sit there and just be like, well, things haven't worked for me in the past, so they're not going to work for me going forwards, because that is literally what you will lay the path out for your future. If it's not worked in the past, if I've tried something similar, I failed in school, my boyfriend says, oh, I always change my mind on things and things like this never work for me. That is literally the foundations and the path you're going to be laying for yourself in the future, just because your brain's going to be like, oh yeah, I can't do it, you're right. Whereas if you sit there, and it kind of ties in with the manifesting stuff, like if you sit there and you tell yourself, I can do it, I might make mistakes. Steve Jobs has made mistakes. Mark Zuckerberg's made mistakes. Any billionaire on this planet has made mistakes. They're still very, very successful people. You are going to make mistakes. Things are going to go wrong. You have to accept that. My video is going to get so annoyed with me because I keep moving things around in this video. It's not going to be consistent at all. But anyway, so on to my next point, how to land clients. Obviously, super important. And I go through some things you can do, things you can start doing today, things you can do to land clients pretty quickly, and then methods you can use to consistently land clients going forwards, and also organic methods you can use to land clients. I don't really like the idea of running ads to land social media marketing clients. It's horrendously fucking expensive. Later down the line, yeah, when you start scaling, when you want consistent clients, fine, I'll cover that, but I want to cover like organic free methods you can use to land clients now. But first of all, before you even think about starting reaching out to clients, I know you've heard this so many times. I know you're going to hate me for saying this. I know a lot of you know what's coming, but you need a niche. I know you're like, oh, I don't want a niche. I don't want to cut out potential clients. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't want to niche down to one thing and only work with one type of clients. But it's so essential. I'm so sorry. It's essential. Like, you need to understand who it is you help, who it is you're targeting. You need to understand what your offer is, what their pain points are, how you fit into their business and how you help them. If you're just like, oh, I work with any businesses, I don't want to cut out any potential clients, I just want to say I work with everyone, your Instagram bio is going to be, I'm a social media marketing manager and I help businesses grow on social media. Yeah, that sounds great. Businesses want to grow on social media, but what does that mean for their bottom line? What does it mean for their ROI? They can't go to their account at the end of the year and say, oh, we've gained 10,000 Instagram followers. And what? How does that help them? You need to understand who it is you help and what you help them do. When you have a niche, your Instagram bio instead will say something like, I help restaurants get fully booked. I help hair salons get fully booked. I help personal trainers get more clients. I help gyms convert their followers into paying customers, this kind of stuff. You have to know it is who you're talking to. And I know for so many people, they're like, oh, well, I can't think of a niche. And they spend like months thinking of niches. I've heard people do this. They'll be like, oh, I've been trying to figure out a niche for like 3 months. I haven't got started. It's better for you to cut out a piece of paper with a list of random businesses on it, put it in a hat, close your eyes, pick out one and go with the first one that comes up. Even if it's like poo disposal companies, is that even a thing? I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? It's better to pick a completely random niche than it is to sit there for 6 months and be like, well, I can't think of a niche, so I can't get started. List all of your interests, hobbies, ones that relate to actual businesses. You can't be like, oh, my niche is mental health or dancing. Like, it has to be something that actually has businesses within inside of it. So say, for example, things like, tattoo studios, vegan restaurants, car garages, hair salons, swimming pools. Like, it could be like anything you can think of that has tangible businesses that you have experience in, that you have passion in, something you're just interested in, something you've got knowledge in. That is your niche, okay? That is going to be your niche. As long as you can find businesses within it, that will be your niche, because that is super, super fucking important for you to take the next steps, for you to define what your offer is. Your offer is going to underlie, every single piece of content you create. And every single piece of content you create, you need to understand who you're helping, what their pain points are. If you don't have a niche, if you don't have an ideal client you work with, you don't know what they're struggling with. You can't just post stuff like, oh, how to gain more followers on social media. That's going to get so dry so quickly. And the thing is, there's a ton of content like that. Let's be real. Like, as a business owner, you scroll through social media all the time. If you want to find out how to get more followers, it's so easy. Whereas you want to speak to exactly what they're struggling with. Restaurant owners, like most of the time, most likely their pain point's going to be, not getting enough footfall, not getting enough bookings. Sometimes it might be things like, oh, they don't have the time to run their own social channels, they don't know how, they can't display their content very well, you can't really tell what it is they sell, they're not very good at taking photos of their food, stuff like that. But generally, for most people, it's going to be they want more sales, they want more customers. And you can't help them with that. You can't create content that helps them with that. You can't create content that speaks to their pain points if you don't know what your client's pain points are, because every single business has every single industry and niche has a different pain point. And then once you've done that, you need to think about where your potential clients are. So it's going to be the first thing you're going to do once you find your niche. Do a little bit of research. This 1 hour of research is going to save you so much time, because if you're just posting on every single platform hoping to find clients, you are going to waste months. You're going to waste days of time every single month just posting in a space where your potential clients might not even be. So for example, if you're working with lawyers and solicitors, they're most likely to be on LinkedIn, maybe even Twitter. They're probably not going to be as much on TikTok or Instagram. Well, they might be using it, but not for business. Whereas if you're working with hairstylists, might be on TikTok and Instagram more, or even Pinterest. Architects might be on Pinterest. Have a think about your ideal client, do some research, find out what platforms they're on. LinkedIn is super easy to search on there because you can search by job title. Instagram and TikTok, you might have to spend a little bit more time, but think about what platforms they're using. Once you've understood where your potential clients are, it means every single hour you spend on that platform, it's going to be where your time is best spent. And then once you've done that, I would say it's probably worth setting up on 2 to 3 platforms, 3 maximum. I wouldn't, even if your potential clients are using 4 or 5 different platforms, it's still not worth setting up on all of them, because you're going to be splitting your time across too many different platforms. It's better to spend 50% of your time on one platform and 50% of your time on the other than it is to spend 20% of your time spread across 5 platforms, because it means, you're not going to get results on any of those platforms as quick as you could with 50% time spent on one platform, if that makes sense. And then on those platforms, I'd use a mix of 3 different content pillars. So I'd use personal content, value-driven content, and promotional content. Personal content is going to be content just like letting your potential clients get to know you. I know it's good posting the graphics, it's good posting the value. You go on a social media marketing manager's page and you see they've got a ton of beautiful graphics with a ton of value on them. But potential clients want to see you, they want to get to know you, they don't just want to see a ton of information, it's too much. They want to go on there and they want to be able to see your voice, hear your voice, see you speaking, hear the passion in behind what you do. They want to get to know you a little bit. Obviously, if you're positioning yourself as an agency, the whole point is, you've got a team, you're this big agency, you're this kind of stuff. But when you're utilizing your personal brand, which I really, really recommend you do at the beginning, even if you do transition into an agency branding later down the line, but utilize your personal brand, make the most of it. It's easier to grow with a personal brand because people like seeing faces, people like seeing reels of faces in. People don't like seeing just constant text and constant images. They want to get to know you, they want to see you. So for your personal content, do day in the life stuff, show your clients the desk you're working from today. Don't show them what you get up to on a 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Like, they don't want to see that much, but keep it relatively professional, but let them get to know you still as well. So, taking a break from the office, where you're working at today, why you're passionate about what you do, why you've got experience in what you do, all that kind of stuff. So a third personal content, and then a third value content. So this is where you're going to showcase your knowledge. This is where you can post, the graphics and stuff. Say for example, if your niche was personal trainers, you can post content that helps them turn their followers into paying customers, that kind of stuff. Things that they're going to see and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Things are going to really hit onto a pain point they have. And the other third of your content is going to be promotional content. This is where you're going to have the salesy content. This is where you're going to talk about what you do, your services, what you offer, who you help. You're going to post DM me for more information, or taking on 2 new clients this month, that kind of stuff. It might think obviously you want to be selling all the time. You want to, every piece of content, you want to make the most of it. You want to drive clients into your DMs. People get bored of being sold to all the time. People don't want to feel like they're constantly being told buy this, DM me now. They want to have, they want to just be given value sometimes. They just want to get to know you sometimes. So you don't want to have a constant sales stuff, just a third in this, 1 to 2 posts a week can be, DM me for more information, or taking on 2 new clients, or this is the service that I offer, but just keep it to a third. So that's how you're going to land clients consistently. That's how you're going to land clients long term. That's going to be your strategy to land clients. It's going to take a little while. You can't just post on Instagram once, especially if you've got a new page. You can't just do one post, be like, oh, I'm taking on new clients, and expect a ton of potential clients to come to you. You've got to do outreach with it as well. You've got to connect with potential clients. You've got to DM them every now and again, just connect with them. You've got to follow them. You've got to bring them to your page. You've got to make sure they can see your content. But that's one organic method you can use to land clients. The reason I don't really recommend ads when you're first getting started as a social media marketing manager is, number one, mainly if you're tight on budget, it's going to be so stressful. With ads, you have to accept that sometimes you're going to, your first month of running the ads, or your first 2 to 3 weeks of running the ads, they're not going to be profitable. They're not going to bring in many sales. They might bring in leads, but they're not going to be the right people. Ads need a testing phase. Ads need sometimes it can be a couple days depending on what you're doing. Sometimes it can be a couple weeks. I think it's around 21 days the testing period is. And in that time, it's going to be targeting random people. It might not be targeting people that are relevant. It's going to be targeting people, that might not actually need your help, but will still reach out to you. So you still get charged for them, but you won't land them as a client. So you have to accept that you're going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds, even thousands of pounds sometimes, to not get results. And if that's not something you can do at the moment, if you can't throw away thousands of pounds at the moment and be like, oh yeah, this is fine, this is a testing period, then don't run ads. And I know for a lot of people, me as well, I would not want to fucking do that. But also a lot of agencies and a lot of social media marketing managers will generally when they're running ads to land clients, they run at a loss for their first month. So how that will work is, say for example, if their average client retainer is £1,500, they might accept that it's going to cost them £1,500 in ad spend just to land that one client. But they know that one client will stay with them on average for 12 months plus, so they know that they've made that money back after the first month, because that client will be paying them 1.5k a month consistently after that, and they'll be making the money. But they might say the first month we're going to run at a complete loss because it costs us this much to acquire the client, but after that we'll be in profit. So they take that risk, and they know that the ads for the first month or so, however long, aren't going to make them any money at all. They're going to even lose the money sometimes, but after that they'll be in profit. So that's just to put it into consideration. It might cost you thousands of pounds to land one client, and then after that, you're going to be making money from it. But if you haven't got that cash flow to invest into ads, you're going to be fucking stressed, like anyone would be. You're going to be spending money on things to just hopefully make the money back the month after. So I would say it takes time. You might be like, oh, I just want to invest money into ads now and have leads coming to me and have clients coming to me now, which sounds good, yes, but unless you've got the money to throw away into it. And also, when you're paying for leads, it gets expensive, and also every single client you don't land from that lead, you're losing money. When you get a lead coming organically, if they don't land, if they don't sign up with you because they haven't got the budget or because you did something wrong, it's whatever, you haven't paid for them, it's frustrating, but it's fine. If you've paid for that lead through Facebook ads and they don't work with you for whatever reason, you're losing money. Every single client you don't sign, whether it's their fault, whether it's your fault, whether they haven't got the budget, or whether you did something wrong, it's costing you money. You're losing money every single time. So you need to ensure that before you start paying for leads, before you get a VA in to reach out to people, you need to ensure that you have every single step in your client acquisition process completely nailed. You know that you are converting 100% of clients that you could be. You know, no one's going to have a 100% conversion rate, but you need to make sure that you're converting every single client that you possibly can convert. So you need to make sure that, you know, your sales call process is absolutely spot on. You need to make sure that your client onboarding process is completely spot on, that your client retention is amazing. You need to have all that in place first. So you need to land a fair few clients first before you start investing money into ads. And then another method that I really recommend you use to land clients, especially when you're first getting started, and not many people speak about this. So landing clients organically, posting on your own social pages, building your own social pages, that's one method to land clients. But to land clients as soon as possible, I mean, like this week, to land your first client, use your personal network. I know some people are going to be like, fuck no, I'm not speaking to my friends about this. I'm not speaking to my family about this. You know, I'm terrified. But everyone knows someone that is a business owner, or knows someone that is a business owner. So I guarantee you have potential clients within your network. Now, they might not be within your niche. They might not be relevant, but for your first few clients, it's not the end of the world if they're not, especially if you're trying to gain experience, especially if you're trying to build a portfolio and, you know, get some analytics to show to potential clients what you can do and build a few case studies and testimonials or whatever. If they're not within your personal network, if they're not within your niche, it's not the end of the world. But if you want to land a client as soon as possible, a paying client as soon as possible, utilize your personal network. And now this can be literally just posting a Facebook status, and you can be completely honest. You can say, look, I've just started my social media marketing agency. I'm looking to take on my first 3 clients. Because it's my first 3 clients, I'm going to do 50% off for the first month in exchange for a testimonial, or I'm going to do, you know, a reduced rate of £500 a month just so I can get my first few tests in exchange for a testimonial, so I can build up some experience. You know, you can be completely honest with this. You don't have to lie. You don't have to say, yeah, you know what, I'm an experienced social media marketing manager. I've got 72 years of experience. You know, I'm going to get you amazing results. You don't have to lie. You can literally just go in there and be completely honest. Take the pressure off you. Be completely upfront and say it's your first few clients. A lot of people will be very, very willing to help you, and we're very, very willing to recommend you to a friend, whether it's so that they can say that, you know, when you're successful with your business, they can say, oh, I helped you from the start. Some people like doing stuff like that, and if they do, whatever, fine. But people will be willing to help you. And like I said, you either know someone you know someone in your network that's a business owner, or someone in your network knows someone that is a business owner that they can recommend you to. So if you want to land a client as soon as possible, like this week, post on your Instagram story, your personal Instagram story, not your business page, your personal Instagram story, post on your personal Facebook, post on your LinkedIn to your current connections, wherever it is, wherever you've got like not even lots of followers, but lots of friends that follow you, post to those people. And I know for a lot of you, you're literally going to be like, this is my worst nightmare. I don't want to do this. I'm absolutely going to skip this step. But a lot of the time, I guarantee you, for 99% of you, it's because you're scared of what your friends and family are going to think. But do you want to build a successful business, or do you want to impress people that are going to judge you that you shouldn't care about, that judge you anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, anyone that's going to judge you for starting a business probably isn't a very good person, and your whole process should be proving them wrong anyway. And also, you'll look back on that Facebook status in 6 months' time when you're working with clients that are paying you $2,000 a month, and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe my first package was £500 a month, and I was, you know, offering to work with people in exchange for a testimonial, whereas now I'm literally, like, you know, I've got a fucking wait list of clients that like want to pay me for my services. Like, you will look back on that and you'll be like, hell fucking yeah. But sometimes you've got to start small, you've got to start uncomfortable, you've got to do things you don't want to do, but I promise you, this is going to be the easiest and quickest way for you to land a client. And then, of course, once you've landed your first client, once you've landed your first few clients, how the fuck do you get results for them, especially if you've got no social media marketing experience? So I'm going to cover how you can create a social media marketing strategy and questions you need to ask yourself with every piece of content you create that will basically ensure that you're getting ROI, that you're getting return on investment for your clients. So I'm so sorry, if this kind of monster keeps on moving around, it's because I'm getting through it. Anyway, so when you start working with a client, I hear a lot of not very experienced social media marketing managers ask this all the time. Nothing wrong with that, but they'll work with a client and they'll go, okay, what should I post for them? And no, that starts at the absolute bottom. When you first start working with a client, your first question should be, what are your brand goals? So you can then build a strategy. At the bottom of the strategy comes what you can post for that client. If you're working with a client and your first question is going, I don't know what to post for them, or your first question is like, what the fuck should I post for this person? You're starting from here. When you start from here, and posting comes at the bottom. So I'm going to cover how. So basically, when you first start working with a client, your first question will be, what are your brand goals? What are you working towards? For a lot of them, it's going to be pretty general. It's going to be getting more sales, getting more clients, getting more customers, whatever it is. For a lot of them, it's going to be the same. Some of them, they might have slightly different ones. You know, they might want to, I don't know, whatever it is, they might, but generally it's going to be getting more sales. It's going to be ROI driven. So when you have that brand goal at the top, that's everything you'll be working towards. Everything that comes underneath that is going to come underneath their brand goals. That's how one way you're going to know that you're working towards the same thing that they're working towards. And it's one way you're going to increase your client retention as well, because when you're working towards the same goal, your client's going to be very, very happy. Whereas if you work with a client and you're just like, yeah, I want to get them more followers, sometimes clients will say they want more followers as well, but at the end of the day, it's not what they really want. Like, they want ROI, they want return on investment from it. They don't just want to gain followers for clout, they want return on investment from the money they're spending on you. But when you have their brand goal at the top, they know that you're working towards the same thing that they're working towards every single day, and they know you're going to get results for them. So brand goals at the top. Underneath that, you want to create your social media goals that align with their brand goals. So say, for example, if your client is a personal trainer, their goal is most likely going to be to get more clients. So our social media goals underneath that would be to get more followers, hear me out, and then convert those followers into paying clients. So that will work in a funnel shape. So underneath that, we'll have our content pillars that would be something like value-driven content, personal content, and then promotional content, kind of similar to the content you'd post on your own social pages. So the value-driven content would be the stuff that brings in new followers. It would be the stuff that goes viral on TikTok. You know, if your client is a personal trainer, it would be, you know, how to do your hip thrust properly, why you're not losing fat, why you're not building muscle, this kind of stuff. People that, like, things that people really want help with. That kind of stuff is what's going to build your following. So when you're going to be landing new clients for your client, it's going to be a case of getting new followers, warming them up, and then selling to them. So even though followers isn't the end goal, it's a goal that comes underneath their brand goal. That's how you're going to basically get new people in and then convert them into paying clients. So your goal every single day, every single post you do for them on social media, it's going to be get new followers, convert those followers into paying customers. So the two specific things you might be working towards is, like, you know, follower growth, and then follower conversion. So, like, you know, more bookings through the link in the bio, or more DMs to you know, book in with the client. However they take, whatever their booking process is, that'll be your two goals. So brand goals, social media goals. Underneath that, you have the content pillars, which is value content, personal content, promotional content, and then underneath the content pillars comes the content you can be posting every single day. So like I said, value content, tips and advice, tips and tricks, why you're not losing fat, why your bum isn't growing, why your biceps aren't growing, you know, recipe ideas, meal ideas, stuff like that, things that you see that go viral on TikTok, or things that I see go viral on my For You page anyway. And then underneath that, you're going to have the personal content. So why your client's good at what they do, you know, their information on their qualifications, case studies, testimonials, all this kind of stuff, you know, why, what they do, why they're passionate about it, all that kind of stuff. And then underneath that, at the bottom of the funnel, you have the promotional content. So the offers, the discounts, the services, you know, I'm taking on 10 new personal training clients this month that I want to help, you know, grow their glutes or grow their biceps or whatever it is. The kind of stuff that encourages people to book in. Then you know that that comes at the bottom of your strategy, what to post, but you know that every single post you're making all lines up with this one overwhelming goal of basically them getting more clients. Even if you're posting stuff like recipe ideas and meal plans, you might be thinking, like, at first glance when you see it, you're like, how the fuck does this get you more clients? There's no call to action. It's literally just a case of, like, here's a protein pancake recipe. How the fuck does that get me more clients? But you know that that's one part of the funnel, and the followers that come in from that because they like the content, they're then going to get warmed up. And at the bottom of the funnel, they're going to be told to DM for more information. Some of those people are going to DM for more information. Then they're going to convert to paying clients. So you know that every single thing you're posting, even if it doesn't seem like it's aligning with the brand goal, does eventually align with the brand goal of getting more customers for your client. And another way you can be 1,000% sure, this is what I do with every single client of mine, this is what I do with every single piece of content that gets created. Ask yourself these two questions with every single piece of content you create. 1, does this align with my client's brand goals? And number 2, does this provide value to their potential clients and customers? And as long as the answer to those questions is yes both times, you are going to create content that drives sales for them. You're going to create content that drives ROI for them, essentially. Because if it aligns with their brand goals, it's going to get them sales. And if it provides value to their target audience, it's going to do well. It's going to be content that they like. It's going to be content that they share. It's going to be content that even, like, goes viral on TikTok sometimes. So you know that it's engaging, it's enjoyable for their target audience, and it also aligns with their end goal. It's going to get them ROI. And then the last thing I'm going to cover is, how do you price yourself as a new social media marketing manager? This is the question I get all the time. Like, how the fuck do you know what to price yourself at? How do you know what your services, like, should cost? How do you know how much your packages should be? And it's something that a lot of people get caught up on. And it is a really hard question to answer, I'm not going to lie, because your pricing completely depends on you, how much confidence you've got. You know, how much experience you've got doesn't mean that you need to charge low if you've got no experience, but someone with 10 years social media marketing experience is going to charge more than someone with 1 year social media marketing experience. That's just how it is. And then it also depends on your location as well. Like, a social media marketing manager in London might charge more than a social media marketing manager in Somerset. Like, I used to work in Somerset as a social media marketing manager, and the social media marketing managers in London got paid a fuck ton more than me, but London's obviously more expensive to live in. And your niche as well. Like, some businesses have a really, really high budget and they're going to expect you to do a lot for them. Some businesses have a smaller budget and you do less for them. So it completely depends on, your pricing completely depends on you and, like, a magnitude of different factors. I would say if you're a social media marketing manager in England, I wouldn't price yourself out at anything less than £20 to £25 an hour, even if you're just getting started. Maybe £15 an hour if you're working on an absolute, you know, if it's your first few clients and you're just trying to gain experience. But give yourself a rough hourly rate and this makes it easier for you to work out your package prices. So if you kind of work out a rough amount of time, again, at the start, it's going to be super hard for you to do. It's going to be hard to work out if you don't know what you're pricing for, how long things take you. But if you're building packages, work out roughly how many hours each package will take you, times that by your hourly rate, add in any extra things, expenses like software or time you're going to spend traveling or time you're going to spend creating content, or any expenses like apps and stuff you're using. Add that into it as well. Obviously divide that by a rough amount of each client, so you don't charge like every single client £10 a month for Canva. You split that between like 5 clients or however many it is you're planning on working with. But yeah, and that will provide you a rough guideline on how much you should charge. But again, if you're really not sure, I would just create packages to begin with at £750 a month, £1,000 a month, and £1,250 a month, and then just add services in there. On your biggest package, you want to have the most value because you want to incentivize people to go with your biggest package. If you're really nervous and you're really not confident and you really want to just land a few clients first, get your experience up before you start pitching, you can have a package at £500 a month, but I wouldn't do anything less than that. Just because anything less than £500 a month, it is really hard to get results for your clients unless you're completely overworking yourself. So it's not fair on you and it's not fair on the client, because they're going to be expecting results, and for you to get them results, you're going to have to be completely overworking yourself and undercharging, or they're not going to get results and they're not going to be happy. So working at clients for less than £500 a month, unless you're just trying to get experience, I really wouldn't recommend it. It's always going to be difficult. Your client retention is going to be super low. I find that £500 a month is kind of the threshold for people that are actually serious about social media marketing. They understand it's investment. They're not businesses that just expect to put £500 in 1 month and get £1,000 back. They just know it takes time. Whereas clients that are under £500 a month, they're just very difficult to work with. They're going to haggle you. Whereas clients that actually have the budget are just like, yeah, sick, go for it, we trust you, let's give it 3 months and see what happens. So yeah, if you're completely unsure on pricing, start off with packages at £750, £1,000 and £1,250 a month. We'll have your biggest package with the most value, incentivize people to go for that. I tend to find people always go for the middle package. They don't want to seem cheap, but they also don't want to seem like they've got a ton of money to invest. They don't want to have the most expensive thing, especially if they're a little bit apprehensive. And then work out your services from that. In order to work out what services you need to put in your packages, work out what your potential clients need. So this can be different for every niche, different for every industry. Some clients are going to need LinkedIn management, some clients are going to need TikTok content creation, some clients are going to need graphics created. It completely depends. But have a think about what your potential clients need. And also in your packages, I know it looks good when you try and cram a load of stuff in. I've seen a lot of social media marketing managers do this. They'll have a list of a ton of different services in their package because they think it looks good when you have as many different things in there as possible. But just keep it simple. You don't need to have in your packages that you do content creation, copywriting, scheduling, and posting. You can just have 3 to 5 posts a week in there. You don't need to have a breakdown of every single thing. You don't have to write that you create the content and then write the captions and then schedule it. That's one thing. You can take all that out and put 3 to 5 posts in a week there. If you put too much stuff in, your clients won't read it. So just have the minimal amount in there, what they need to know. And in your packages as well, wherever you're advertising your packages, have in there what they get from it, because otherwise clients will just pick what they think they need, whether it's the most expensive or the cheapest. But you want to have in there who the package is for and what they get out of it. So your smaller package, you could say this is a helping hand. I'll take some of the burden of social media marketing off your hands for you. I'll help you. If you send me the content, I'll schedule it for you, and I'll make sure that it's super engaging and it's got good captions and it's posted at the right time and that people in the comments are being engaged with. Or if you want complete social media marketing completely taken off your hands, you want someone to do it all for you, go for the bigger package. Tell them what they get out of it. Don't just say, you get 5 posts a week or you get 10 posts a week. Tell them what they get out of every single package and who it's for. And also, one super important thing to make note of when you're deciding your pricing is that you are probably going to get your pricing wrong at the start. You're probably going to overprice or underprice yourself. There is no way for you to figure out how much you should charge your services at until you actually start working with a client. The chances of you getting it 100% spot on is it's very slim. Like I've spoken about on my Instagram before, my first few clients were paying me £200 a month, and I just thought that was fine. I thought that was normal until I found out there was actually high ticket clients that would pay me way more for my services, literally an extra zero on what I was charging before. But I just thought that was fine. I just thought, if I work with 10 clients at £200 a month, I'll be fine. But that was just not sustainable at all. I was working way too much. For the clients that I was charging £200 a month for, I should have been charging a fuck ton more for the amount of work I was doing for them. But you're going to get it wrong at the start. Don't stress too much on it. Again, it's one of those things that people just get so caught up on. They're like, I don't know what to price myself at. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to charge too much or too little. But the thing is, when you've got packages, you can't really go too much wrong. At least one of those packages is going to be right for someone, so you don't have to be like, oh my god, what if I get these wrong? You can change them later down the line. You can increase your prices when you're working with clients as well. Don't get super worried about locking clients in at a rate for 3 months. Once the 3 months contract has ended, you can increase your rates with them, so don't panic about it too much. It's one of those things, except it's going to be trial and error for the first few clients and then have it set in stone afterwards. But I hope that was helpful. If you've got any other questions, ask them below, and I'll maybe do a couple more videos on this, or I'll just answer your questions below. But if you want to get mental by me and my team. If you want my help, if you want all my knowledge that I've learned from my past 12 years in social media marketing that's helped me make over 6 figures from social media marketing, you can DM me on Instagram. Send me send me the red heart, and I can send you some information on my programs. We can see which one will be the best fit for you. We can have a chat or even jump on a call with one of my team to see if my Done For You agency program is a good fit for you. But I hope that was helpful, and I'll speak to you guys later.